Welcome to this episode. In this episode, we'll be going live and talking about Reddit. All the memes, all the dirty stuff that happens in Reddit. Too much exaggeration. I'm sorry. I have to, exaggerate for you guys. Boop my nose. And the mask. Just all the furry to boop. Yep. I'm gonna knock the camera down. Oh my god, how close can I get? Starting off with teratophilia. It's the it refers to the sexual attraction to monsters. Am I a monster? That sounds a bit hurtful. Can anyone tell me if I'm a monster?
And welcome to the live stream. Yeah, I like that intro actually. It's one of my favorites. Hey, Amanda, welcome to the stream. I'm glad you can catch this. So I decided to do this unique stream because I've never done research into anti-furries. I'm not an anti-furry myself. I will always forever be a furry. I also know the reality is that there are some good and bad aspects of any community. I don't care what community you go to. Go to furries, you go to LGBTQs, you go to about people with autism. I don't care what community. Every single community has a bad side to it. But the reality is of that bad side, it's so little that it's probably not worth getting big fuss over that small stuff. So I just want to point out that I will forever be a furry because I love my community and I enjoy the positivity that I get around from being a furry. And I don't deal with that bad stuff as the community. So, hey, Death of Fallen Angel, welcome to the stream. Winnie, welcome to the stream. You became a furry. Nice. I'm glad. I'm super glad I could get people to be furries. And if you guys are enjoying being furries, it's actually a good community to be into. Totally support your decision if you don't want to, because you may be indecisive about why you want to be a furry or what's the furry in the first place. Chocolate Mike, welcome to the stream. Oh, I'm glad you can make it. I did reply to a comment regarding to the watching a video of a person eat a pretzel or something. I guess I can do that. I'm not sure why, but sure. I'll watch that video. I'll make a recording because I'm not sure it's live stream worthy for that, but I'll do a recording. Let's get into the whole anti-furries. So first of all, they're defined as furry haters, furry critics, and they're basically, from what I've learned, a little bit of research in the 1 hour I've been doing research. Doll Ribs, welcome to the stream. In the 1 hour research that I got here, because I just got home like around 6:13 after work, and I was like, ooh, they have some dark history. A lot of them deal with World War II stuff. A lot of them deal with anti-Semitics. A lot of them deal with ideologies that would get me banned on YouTube. All right. Yeah. But they started back in the early 1970s, apparently. I didn't realize, because the fur community has only been around since the early 1960s to the early 1970s. Again, it became a bigger deal in the 1970s when these artists decided to do a FurCon event, and it became a bigger deal and blew out of proportion, and now it's where we are right now. So yes, do I think furries are cringe? 100%. I'm not gonna deny that we are cringe in the first place. As furries, we stand out from the humans, and I'm putting that in big emphasis as humans because we don't act like humans. The point of being in a community in the first place is to diversify yourself from the normal. The reason we have communities in the first place, guys, is because the humans push us towards that group, And so we create that group to stand out from what the normal society thinks of us. Because of you guys. In this case, we developed being furries because it's a unique personality and it differentiates us from the norms. And if we get attacked by that because being gay or being a furry, you guys aren't used to it, big deal. That's normal. Just like when who is it? Galileo discovered like space and all that stuff, he was outcasted for his discoveries. New ideas, new concepts will always be attacked. Prove me wrong. But the good news is people eventually adjust to that and they just live with the norms and live with it and learn to accept. Or they don't. Racism is a big thing still going on and people still can't accept that people are who they are as humans and Africans still exist, and I'm not sure why that's a bad thing and why racism first existed in the first place, but hey, I'll never know something. The only word that matters. Henry, welcome to the stream. Yeah, people just need to stop with all the hate and animosity. That's how I gotta look at it. And just ignore those people, to be honest. That's the simplest thing. But interesting is apparently a lot of anti-furries, and I find this probably this holds true. A lot of them were furries in first place, and this actually says they were part of the furry community. And they became anti-furries because they found some disgusting content in either fur fandom, or they saw something that was within the fur community that wasn't like normal. And again, this part of the community is very little. So when we're attacking the community, you can't just go attack furries as a whole, because that's like attacking humans as a whole for not doing what humans do. Or African community. And guess what? African community is still humans in the end. Furries are still humans. So we gotta differentiate that from the first place. Your comment got deleted? Why did your comment get deleted? Oh no. Oh no. I can't really say I blame... Why are we blaming North Korea in the first place? What did North Korea do? They're not the ones that started all the hate. Oh my gosh. But yeah, this whole thing... This has like a dark side to it. So if I get into some dark topics, it's part of the content. But by no means do I support this. I will always be a furry. Anyway, let's watch this video. This person only has 408 subs, but I watched a little bit and I found this content to be quite powering. So
I have delved into some different aspects of furry fandom history on this channel, and with all the drama and contention in the fandom,
gravity causes it to spin.
In recent times, over the existence or concept of anti-furs, I thought it would be an interesting topic to cover and look at that from a different perspective and explore some of that history as well. Now, something that is important to understand from the gate will be some definitions. Despite the current predominant manifestation of anti-furs being people who just run their mouth in comment sections, much like furry fans,
it's a big aspect. I actually have been attacked by anti-furry several times, but then again, I'm a content creator, and the reality is, if you're doing content creation and you eventually get big to the point on YouTube channel, you're going to get attacked. Big deal. If you don't like it, don't do content creation. There you go. Problem solved.
Fandom, that is just one layer of the onion.
I'm out. You're... Oh no, you're good. Death of Fallen Angel, you're good.
The reality is much more nuanced. Now, keep in mind, for a lot of what I'm about to describe, I was not around for, so I'm digging through archives to obtain this information. As far as I can tell, for a long period of time, roughly from 1990 to the early 2010s, anti-furries were in fact furries. If you were an anti-furry, you were a furry, no question, no doubt, but you were simply somebody who was...
So, first of all, I have no history in these type of symbols or what they mean. But Reich, I'm assuming a lot of this is red and white because in Reich and black stands for a lot of German stuff. So I'm gonna have to assume this is regarding to like German stuff. And he does explain a little bit of this actually. Can you change the language? I don't think anyone here speaks Portuguese. Why is it in Portuguese? What are we talking about? Hold up, what? Portuguese? My stream language is English United States. My title and description is English United States. The comments are what? What are we talking about? I don't have any Portuguese. I don't know how to change that part either. I don't know why this would be in that country setting. What? No. It's English, yeah. I was about to say, I was like, what? I'm speaking Portuguese? Oh, that's a new for me. Oh, I have a friend that speaks Portuguese, actually. So,
protesting aspects of your fandom. These were commonly referred to as burned furs, and
yeah, see. There you go.
They were still active in the fandom, identified as furries, but had issues with different things in the fandom, whether it be adult content or certain artists they don't like.
You need some tips for streaming. Do you have any idea? I do actually. If you want to get into streaming, it's actually quite easy. You can actually stream from your phone and connect it to your computer and actually get started through YouTube. And the focus when you're doing a lot of streaming content is to focus on like your audience and talk to them to engage with them. If you can't do that and you can't engage with the audience, don't bother streaming because that's why you stream in the first place, to connect with the audience.
Or things being sold, or...
You stream on PS5? Oh, that's hard. I'm not good with console content creation. Actually, I'm not into that category. I just do solely computer and YouTube because it's easier to stream on computer.
Or conventions, or a whole list of grievances.
You have to ignore the mean people. That's yeah.
These older terms included griefer because they had so many grievances. As time went on, and I don't see a definite turning point for this, more individuals started to allude to this.
So Reich means related to German and during the 1930s, 40s era.
Cause that were not furries and had not really had any exposure or limited exposure to the fandom. Around this time period, you begin to see reasons given for this behavior ranging from harassment or just trying to get a few people together to laugh at the reaction generated by the drama. This more or less seems to correspond with the era of the lulz and just heavy trolling in general on the internet. The oldest incarnation there seems to be record of was the Save Our Fandom movement, and this was the early to mid 1990s.
Oh, thank you so much, Chocolate Mike. Appreciate it.
This was an idea born on the post-bulletin board system internet era, and it's considered to be the earliest incarnation of furry conservatism ideology. Members called themselves the SOF Furs. This particular group, with the help of the early and rapidly growing internet, would eventually coalesce into the very first of many similar groups. This particular group publicly advocated for the removal of perceived fringe elements from the fandom, especially furry lifestylers and gay furries.
which I don't get. Because the reality is, most of us that are furries are literally part of the LGBT community. It's like, I forget the percentage, but it's above 60% of us that are in the fur community are quite literally part of the LGBT community. So for them to eradicate the gay community part would be for them to eradicate the LGBT community. And a lot of us joined being furries because that's a community that is more positive vibes and happiness and just to get away from all the hate. And so again, this is a big reason as to why people join communities, to get away from the hate. If we didn't want to be communities, then hate wouldn't exist. That's actually a big reason as to why communities exist. To basically run away from the hate in the world. So that's a big reason why LGBTQ first started. Because people were attacked for being gay or queer or attacked by their family members, and so they joined communities to be part of that group. And it's more comforting when you're in a community because you're not going to be attacked by your own members. So
They also delivered proposals to the heads of early furry conventions.
Jacket. So I'm going to call you Jacket because, yeah, I can't pronounce that name. What? I'm not going to start pronouncing that long. What? The last word I know it says, sis. There we go. Welcome to the stream, STRT73s.
About curbing the amount of adult furry.
Did you just type a random science word? I swear to God, you just typed a random science word. Was this one of the longest science words in existence or something?
Played in the art shows and exhibits. One long-term goal was for the furry fandom itself to return to...
Only reason I know science words got micro, which means small.
The, quote, golden age of furrydom, a time that was often joked about by the group's early detractors.
Shadow. Oh, that's a nice name. Lung disease? Who the heck is gonna say that lung disease? I'm sorry, but that's that too long. There's an acronym for that lung disease.
SOF quietly disappeared around
Pneumo...
late 1995. Some of those
something.
radical members used to use the moniker shove-off faggots.
Oh, that's a cute name, by the way.
For their group. Now,
What's up, Robert?
quick side note here. The golden age of furrydom, or the golden era of furry fandom, or another variation of the term, the Renaissance, used frequently by burned furs, is a phrase...
Why would they call it the Renaissance? I'm confused. Like, now they're confusing the Renaissance era versus, like, the terminology of what Renaissance means.
...that was first seen in furry bulletin board systems around 1993, gaining more common usage in the late 1990s. And it was used to describe a purer time in the history of furry fandom.
Phone guy, welcome to the stream. Pizza from Fazbear's, anyone? No. Don't get pizzas from Fazbear's place. That's scary.
Where there was less adult material or fringe groups. Initially used by people that had become disenfranchised with the, quote, problem of adult furry art present in the fandom. In August of...
So, can I put something in place here when he mentioned adult furry art? Nowadays, they are required to make sure you are 18 plus to actually see adult furry art. So, they actually cover it. I'm not sure. So, when I went into it, I was like, can I see adult furry art? And they don't actually check your ID for it necessarily. But if you look you're under 18 plus, then they probably won't show it to you. But they have all the adult art hidden, even like the pillow stuff, because I have adult art pillows and stuff. But a lot of that stuff is hidden from minors for legal reasons because it's deemed as bad, which nudity for underage is bad. So yes. So they don't do that. I don't think they would actually ever do that in real life nowadays in modern fur cons because there were laws prohibiting that, and I'm sure there were laws back then prohibiting indecency towards underage. So that's why they have hidden. So this is not. I'm not sure why this was a big issue back then, unless they changed the policies on that.
We have our next group, Furries Against Animal Sexual Abuse. This was formed to protest any kind of bestiality or zoophilia.
Again, this was in the community of furries. This is such a little minor group that they're talking about that this is kind of irrelevant. 90% of us, 99% of us don't support that. Okay, so when they're saying that stuff, majority of us in the fur community do not support this. So keep that in mind. But also keep in mind that just because you're not furry does not mean you're not into that topic area too. So when he's talking about that category content, that does not just go for furries, okay? And I hate when people are like, you're a furry, so you must be... No, it goes for humans in general. Again, furries are humans. But just because we wear anthropomorphic costumes, people assume that we're into that content. No, sorry. I don't know. I have not seen bullying chocolate here yet. Not in my live stream yet.
Now, on face value, that's a good thing.
My camera.
It's sad that we would even need it, but unfortunately, when going through the archived material, it appears like it very quickly...
The problem isn't the furries as such. It's individuals abusing the furry world for the sake... Yes, you're exactly right, phone guy. 100% right. It's the people that are abusing the... basically being furries into their sick, disgusting kink. So yeah, 100%. And that's probably the best thing he just said out of this entire video. And that's why people look... And the reality is, if something... I'm trying to put this... When people focus on the small stuff more than the big stuff, the small stuff kind of outshines the positivity. Like, if there's something small in the world, like there's a massive, like, shooting that happened, and that happens maybe once every, like, few days. Meanwhile, there's more peace in the world than there's violence. People tend to focus on the negativity more than positivity because that rarely happens, and that's more newsworthy. People prefer like negative content over what's going on in positive. So that's why communities get attacked for these small incidences that rarely happen in certain communities, because it produces more money, it produces more clicks, it produces more chatting, and that's what the news corporation wants. So, drama is a big money maker, man. Keep that in mind.
Involved into drama with false accusations being hurled around and people comparing it to the Salem witch trials or McCarthyism. The group disbanded in September of 1999, only about a month later. Our next group to take a look at seems to have generated enough drama to quickly rise to the level of infamous, and it would follow the fandom straight into the new millennium. In mid-1996, the Take Back Our Fandom movement began. It was a furry ideological group mostly rooted in conservative ideals rather than furry hate ones. That came as being a non-intended consequence.
Amanda says they live in the bad part of America to be furry. Well, if you do, go to cons in America that are positive and maybe focus on talking online more than expressing yourself in that area that you live. Because if you do live in a bad part of society that in America that does not support it, it's probably better for you to express it online and go to different locations in America that's more acceptable. I have not experienced that here in where I live in my community, and I have that issue, but
of the backlash against Richard Chandler's Mass Graves editorial in
Yeah, I know with state of Florida, in one part of town in Florida, I forget where it is, but it's near Pensacola. Their history was really, really messed up. Like with regard to racism, like it was a full-on hate on African communities for years, and it's died down quite a bit, but it's still like very like anti-Semitic and yeah.
Gallery number 25. The politics behind the six.
Phone guy says the most annoying part of the whole topic is the fact that publics tend to generalize when single sickos are caught painting a wrong picture of the whole community. Yes, that's exactly right. Again, people tend to focus on that one small incident and portray it to the entire community as a whole. There is a story on, what was it? There was a story on news years ago regarding to an autism person that was doing a violent act in school, and they portrayed autism as people that are violent. And rarely does that actually hold true with the autism communities. Rarely are we actually violent. We don't know necessarily how to express our feelings, so we may get angry, but in terms of what that person did and that one small incident, that had a very negative connotation on the autism community, even though a lot of us are not violent to that nature like that. So
Shallow Graves editorial was initially a personal public commentary in February of 1995 between Yarf art director Dave Bryant and fellow artist Joni. Now Yarf was an early furry anthology. The basic principle grew on the furry alt fan page that I've featured.
Abdullah, welcome to the stream. I also want to point out that every single one of you non-furries are complete hypocrites when you guys are saying you're not into adult content and you're attacking furries for not being into adult. You're attacking furry community for being into adult content also, but they're just more anthropomorphic contents. And how is that any different from your content? Don't attack furries for being into adult content, because you guys are too. That's a terrible logical argument for hating furries. Just because we're into anthropomorphic adult content versus you guys are into human content. Okay, so anime is different from what you guys are into. How? Yeah, please don't use that as an excuse to hate furries. Frey, welcome to the stream. Daryl, welcome to the stream. I'm actually just looking into like the history of anti-furries because I've never done research on this topic before, and when I got home like at 6:13, I had to do quick research. So I'm watching this one content creator who breaks it down pretty well, and he gives some historically accurate information regarding to the history of anti-furries. So that's what we're doing. Hello, the Furry Goober. Welcome to stream.
On this channel before, showing some archive chats regarding Chester Ringtail and Terry Smith. Anyway, it was repeatedly raised a valid point or quickly dismissed as a joke until it was picked, reshaped, and published as an editorial in the gallery issue. And essentially what it came down to was a quote where Rich Chandler said, "Frankly, I think it's time we collectively said enough is enough. Things are not going to get better by themselves. Tolerance and political correctness and even manners be damned, we have to reclaim our fandom." The idea was extensively discussed in news groups, generating pro and con camps around the editorial's idea, and quickly became labeled the Take Back Our Fandom Brigade, a title they took on as their identity. Their ideals were almost...
Slugcat is like, what would an anti-furry ice cream ever taste like? Vacuum cleaner? I have no idea if that's even a thing, Ashley, but I'd be curious. You're good, Darian. You're good.
Just a duplicate of the early furry ideological group SOF that we cited a minute ago. Recent events fueled their ideology, including some incidents in Conference 8 and the supposed tolerance of the fandom towards fringe elements. As with SOF, this group yearned for the second coming of the golden age of furrydom, even though as with the first group, there were considerable disagreement as to what exactly the golden age had been. The quote that seems to have been behind the Six Graves ideology...
God, my avatar is like acting weird. Can I just like reset my avatar maybe? Reset position. Oh, that's better. I fixed my avatar. Let's go. It's acting weird. No. Abdullah, you can stay. You can stay, but no need to leave. No need to leave. Stay. Never ever think that you're of no use here. Everyone is welcome here.
Was delivered by Dave Bryant in February of 1996. Many Fen agree that most of fandom's problems could be solved with 6 shallow graves. Where people differ is who should fill the graves. Now this next one was a little confusing to sort through at first. Officially, it was the Anti-Wear and Furry Resource Movement, dating from 1998 to February of 2003, founded by a furry named Tiggybot, also known as Bad Tiggy or Lanmaru. Now, as far as I can tell, what they're referring to is essentially Therianism, but I'm guessing in that time frame that wasn't really the accepted term for it or the recognizable term for it. It was wear or spiritualism. So, according to the founder, Tiggybot, he said it was a centralized place to study and discuss negative opinions, facts, or whatever of these groups, preferably in a semi-decent, intelligent, or humorous way, created because there was no place to openly expose the flaws and dislikes of these genres, or otherwise have fun with them. Now, Tiggy himself was a well-known and liked wear fan in the community starting from 1995 onwards, and ended up being an administrator for many affiliated groups and websites. This apparently changed
Tiggy's a cute name.
For him when he began to express personal disenfranchisement with the whole spiritual movement that he felt some therianthropes or furry lifestyles drag
Aw, thank you so much, Frey.
against spiritualists were trying to force on this community. To counter this, he created this AWFR initially to bring a counterpoint to this advent of spiritualism, to also have an alternative to what he called creature culture, and its much expanded follow-up.
Hi, Andrew. Welcome to the stream.
Personal symbolic zoomorphism. His site began to challenge other aspects of furry fandom, including causing some drama with furry fans of dragons, and having resources on his site, including a proposed plan for cleaning up the fandom by cutting back on adult artwork and removing other elements of the...
Oh my god, chocolate. Mike. I'll make a video of me reacting to someone eating a pretzel. Gosh, I promise.
Fandom to result in the pure fur movement. By the end of the year 2000, updates on the site had pretty much ceased. Tiggybot said he didn't have anything left to write about, and an out.
Dude, listen, that's what Chocolate Mike wants me to react, so I'll make a video of that. It'll just be like, you're right. I've never reacted to a person eating anything in my life, actually, like quite literally. That should be interesting content. Haven't figured out what I'm gonna do with it yet, but I'll figure something out.
First, by infamous anti-furry Eric Bloomerich, more on him later, would be the catalyst to see the site pulled offline. A special note here is that Tiggybot seems to be a person in some kind of internal conflict, liking the wear or Therian aspect of the fandom, but at the same time being put off by things he sees others doing or portraying it. And of course, this would and continues to be a common theme in these various anti-elements of the fandom. As previously covered on this channel, furry mucks were a place where furries could gather online in an adventure roleplay game type setting, and this was of critical importance in early days of the fandom, where furries could connect through large parts of the country, even in the pre-internet era, as furries were building and developing this infrastructure and would go to great pains to be able to communicate and play around with each other in this forum. The Colmany Pub was a location in the furry muck, and it was themed as a
yeah, after this I'm gonna do a TikTok live stream Friday the 13th content, so I haven't figured out what to do with that yet, but I'll figure it out as I go on.
Off Waterside Tavern, but it consciously bucked the general theme of tolerance elsewhere on the muck. It was significant in the late 1990s as a focal point for anti-furry sentiment.
Hey, cool kid. If you don't like my content, it's your choice to stay on or not. Okay? It's literally your choice. I could care less whether you like my content or not.
Forming a community of disgruntled artists and scathing critics of the fandom at large. Noteworthy early participants were made up of recognizable furries of the time. The pub had...
What is a furry? What is a furry? They're humans that act like anthropomorphic, dress up as anthropomorphic creatures that act like basically animals, non-real life animals, but in real life. So cute. That I can, yeah, I agree with that. Better than freak than hater. Yeah, I can agree with that. Basically, humans that act in a cute way. There we go. As animals.
Amusing features written into its coding, including various creative exits for people to be ejected from the pub, and also trapdoors and things where they would fall into the water below the tavern and things such as that.
See, I'm Lycanroc. I'm a Pokemon. Oh yeah, and Pokemon, by the way, if you didn't know, is a full furry fandom. Okay, if you like Pokemon, then there's something deep inside you that means you like furries. Okay.
Another notable feature was the doppelganger.
I consider Therians part of the furry community, just because I guess again anthropomorphic has to deal with Therians in that respect. But the difference between again furries versus Therians are, and I consider myself a Therian also because I act like a dog. I have a dog bed, I have a dog collar, a dog leash, I have a dog bone, and I like being walked and head pats and basically act like a dog in real life. Most furries don't act out as animals in real life. Therians tend to act out as animals in real life, where they howl, or they walk as in a certain prone position with like animal-like position. Most furries won't do that. Therians usually do that. So there's a difference between Therians versus furries, technically. But I still consider Therians to be part of the fur community because fur community existed probably more before Therians, I guess, or maybe it's the other way around. I don't know. Oh, nice.
The coders put in an exact copy of the tavern, which enabled the core group to invite people in without having the new invites being part of the real club. And
That's fair. That's fair. If we're talking about spirits, animal spirits, that's fair. Clearsight, welcome to the stream.
things said or done in the faux comedy pub was transmitted to the real club as entertainment for the core group. This was really advanced coding and features for its time, but what we notice again is this pattern of furries who are still very active in the furry fandom, but are now identifying themselves as anti-furries, and for whatever personal motivating factor, toying with or stirring up drama with their fellow fans.
Oh, Snow Leopard, that's a cute name. I like that. With cat ears, it's cute.
Fandom members. In part 2, we'll see how this began to explode into drama and chaos with the involvement of who is arguably the father of the anti-furries, Eric Bloomrich, as the fandom entered the new millennium.
Eric Bloomage? Who's Eric Bloomage? Now we're gonna see part 2! Oh, they should have done part 2. I mean, they did say Anti-Furries part 1, but... Yeah, I consider myself a dog as my animal spirit, or wolf, I guess. Probably more of a dog than anything else. Oh, now I want to see part 2. Oh, Anti-Fur History, part 2. Videos, popular. Anti-Furry hit. Anti-Furries within furry transformation fetish. Sure. What? Oh my god. That was 9 months ago. Anti-Furry history. The first Oh, is this it? This is it.
So before we get into the final segment of anti-furry history, time for another quick note. It seems a percentage of the anti-furry...
No rush, Clear Sight. No rush. Oh, alright. Bye, Frey. Thank you for joining the stream. Thank you so much. Boops to your face.
...community that had viewed part 1 were not happy about it. I don't know if you're going to be joining us for part 2, but for anyone listening, here's something to understand.
Okay, if you were literally watching 16 seconds into the stream, the video, if his video, you're clearly engaged in it, so you can be watching it from then.
These were not created to stir up drama and contention. I like researching furry history. There's something fascinating to me.
My likey, I broke. See,
events,
my little likey broke. Okay, it's back. It's normal.
Fandom. And in doing so, I noticed evidence time and again of...
Rawr! Your name is better! Fanboy King! I dig that. I dig that.
...of anti-furries going back...
Oh, thank you so much, Snow Leopard. I appreciate it.
...to the mid-90s. This is intriguing to me, especially in light of the fact that the whole concept of anti-furries is a trending topic now in the fandom. And it's interesting to compare the differences and similarities.
It's actually died out quite a bit. I think this was more trending a year ago because I could not find, for the life of me, like I was looking up anti-furry stuff. Like if you just go to my like YouTube and look up anti-furry stuff, it's like dead. Anti-furry, 2 years ago. What was the most recent thing? Hold up. Filters by date, like upload date. There's 2 hours. There's a few stuff anti-furries. But okay, they just why would you tag as anti-furry? Like, okay, well, I'm up there. Great. Good. I'm glad to know I'm up there. What is the hell is it? What is this? Yeah, so it's like dead. I even looked up different channels, like this channel. And they like stopped. They did this a month, and then 8 months ago they did more of this, and then 10 months ago. So I think it just like died down like between 8 to 10 months ago. Because this guy's pretty big. CEO of trolling, he just gave up doing content. Anti-furry cringe is like he just quit. I don't know why he quit. Anti-Furry Republic is another big content. He just died down 4 years ago. And so, yeah, I was like, yeah, well, a lot of anti-furries were furries that transitioned to becoming anti-furries because of either being attacked or being just decide to be mean to other furries, or just decide to do it for the fun, or just were into being a furry in the first place, so they transitioned to attacking us. Which I guess you can call that attacking the LGBT community, because again, most of us furries are into LGBTQ. So you used to be anti. How you be anti and then be a furry? Oh, that's cute. Yeah, so I was more involved in the fur community because of a friend that I met online, and he was Ukrainian, and I just joined some fur communities on Discord, and I was like more involved with it. But that was like 5 years ago. And then 2 years ago, a little bit over 2 years ago, I got a boyfriend, and I got super involved in the fur community. And then last year, we got a whole bunch of drama happened, and the community just got disbanded. The person that was in charge of the community just literally left the group, and there was like over 100 people in the group. So it was The Furries of Virginia. It was one of the biggest groups in the Virginia for the fur community, and the guy just gave up on it and was like, "Oh, okay, well." Oh yeah, I did the stream about that. That was pretty funny. But yeah.
Between past and present. Everything that I am referencing are real persons or events sourced from archives. I would encourage you to follow the links to
What's the big... Hi, Dragon Weaponsmith. Welcome to the stream.
the sources and use archives or the Wayback Machine or whatever else.
What are we talking about? What are we talking about, Dragonsmith? I'm still a chill dude. I'm a chill floof.
To do your own research if you so choose. Or, of course, you can choose to believe that all of this is just made up and remain in ignorance of how your own community or movement or whatever you see it.
Oh, yeah, that's right, Dragonsmith. You're in Clearsight. I forgot about that. Oh, yeah, he makes videos about you. Oh, I responded to some of your posts on the Clearsight channel once, actually.
As even began to exist. That said, let's dive in. By all accounts, Eric Bloomerich appears to me to be the original anti-furry.
Kai, nice typing, by the way. I love it. Let me read it. Anti-furries are just depressing... Depressing for... hitting on us? For... hating on us for being ourselves. Okay, I think I got that. Anti-furries are just depressing for hating on us for being ourselves. Got it.
In the modern sense of the word, meaning someone who disassociated himself from the fandom and just became an out-and-out opponent of it. But he did not start off that way. Eric Bloomerich was very much a furry and active in the fandom, and appears to have been so for quite some time. In 1998, he coined the term furry apologist or furry fence-sitter, and he meant it to be a demeaning term for fellow furries who were sitting by and making excuses for the fandom or allowing things to get out of control or go in a bad direction. His quote was that they sat by...
I'm sorry, I just like wiggling my head. It's very relaxing. In the meantime, you guys just see my wiggly hair and ears. All the content for you guys.
And let all this happen. A single word, a statement of principle, and a little courage was all that it took. But they found themselves incapable of mustering the will, nor the backbone such an action required. They are truly the most craven, the most despicable of them all. Now, initially, this was directed to a small core of specific people in the fandom. But at the end of his involvement with the Burned Furs and Furry, finally accused the entire fandom as perpetrators and accomplices of these acts.
See, you can't just do that. You can't just attack an entire community of any community. Like, it's different if the community is a community of, like, people that are into doing with animals. Attack that community. That's a small community. But to attack a community that is... like less than 1% of the entire community that actually does stuff with animals, you can't do that. Go attack that community. Don't be attacking us. Don't be attacking the LGBT community for trying to say that we're attracting the small ones. What? That's a whole different community. And that's not what LGBTQ is even about in the first place. God, this is like a big pet peeve of mine when people start attacking a community as a whole, when that community, for the most part, is chill AF, and then they find one disgusting or a few disgusting people in that community, and they just say, oh yeah, that community is bad. It's like saying attacking Christianity for some Christians going off and killing babies because they don't want abortions or something like that, or killing doctors or something like that. You can't attack a community just because of that small incident and apply that one small incident to your whole community. That is so effed up thinking process. Okay.
were the issues that Eric Blumrich specifically had with the fandom? Well, it seems to have started off with his having an issue with a sexual element to the fandom. In 1998, Eric Blumrich, himself a furry artist, founded the Burned Furs alongside of Squee Rat. And the mission statement was simply, Anthropomorphic's fandom is being overrun by sexually dysfunctional, socially stunted, and creatively bankrupt hacks and pervs. And Squee Rat said that the group was composed of furs who have spoken up against fandom perversion and been burned at the stake for it. These were disputes that had happened once again on the original alt-fan furry messaging board system.
You're gonna get a cookie? Nice! What type of cookie is it?
Negative press coverage of the fandom at the time, mainly articles in which attendees discussed sexual practices with reporters, angered them as well. And many prominent furries of the time either quit the fandom or went into secrecy so as to not be associated with the negative attention. This quickly gave rise to an era of mutual demonization, and the Burned Furs were
Better grab a pizza from Fazbear's pizza place. Yeah, get pizza first because that's healthier.
a symptom of schisms that had been raging in furry fandom up until that point. The group was accused of wanting to oppose some sort of anti-sexual vision on the rest of the fandom, despite many members of the organization being themselves creators of furry erotica. And certain members of the group either disliked gays, Christian furs, obscure fetishes,
What's going on, Chocolate? What's going on?
or erotic artwork. These were generally held up as examples of the overall burn fur ideology by various members of the group's opponents. Hui Rat wrote a full manifesto, and she stated that personal fetishes and unusual lifestyles were not a problem if kept as a private matter.
Yeah, I agree. If you're into those personal things, those things should be with a small group. Don't put them on the entire group itself, because not everyone's into that. So I 100% agree with that statement.
Opposed public flaunting of what most would consider socially unacceptable behaviors. In particular, she derided the small minority of fans who insisted that a person could not be a furry without, for example, having an animal spirit or practicing veganism.
What? 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 You can't be a furry without having animal spirit or practicing veganism? What? No. Yes, summon the cookie army, please. Do that. That'd be great.
But many critics considered Burned Fur a hate group due to the manifesto's harsh tone and the production of a number of t-shirts bearing the slogan,
Actually, I don't think it was showing YouTube chats.
I don't have a lifestyle, I have a life. The Burned Furs attracted the attention of some underground media outlets.
Oh, my mom loves pumpkin anything food, like pumpkin spice latte, pumpkin spice cookies. She likes pumpkins, pumpkin nickels. Those are pretty good. Oh, nice! They show on my chat side, but they don't on YouTube. Like on here, they show on here. Like here, they show. Like, see? But not on the actual chat itself. Oh, that's funny.
Including the Philadelphia Weekly, stating that they hoped that the Philly Fanatic sports mascot would be abducted and gang raped by fursuiters at a convention.
What?
Other articles stated that this was something for everyone to stare at, with a peculiar mixture of horror and intrigue. Another odd twist.
See, what he's discussing is like this small negative concept of the fur community that's so small, but people tend to focus on the negativity, which is bad. Because there's more positivity in this community than there's negativity, but people are addicted to drama and like chaos, which is bad. Shame on us for being addicted to that stuff. They're scared of color black. Oh. What are we talking about? You can get vegan bacon. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can.
One of the candidates for the governor of the state of Arizona was a burned fur named Scott Malcolmson, who came under scrutiny for having a furry character on Furry Muck and drawing erotic furry art. Burned furs were often accused of threatening and making physical attacks against their opponents, including death threats and sabotaging convention events. One known case of a burned fur actually threatening an opponent was the maintainer of the burned fur homepage, who during...
But how many of those, of the entire fur community, have done those acts? Okay, can we just put that in perspective? It's just like saying how many people in the world own guns and have done gun violence in the world. It's very little. It's less than 1% of the world population, for God's sake, that's done gun violence. It's so little. But we focus on the negativity and we make it, I mean, it's a big deal, but man, why am I a furry? I joined this community a big part because I enjoy the positivity vibes I get in the community. And I tend to focus on the positivity because if you start, again, every community has their own dramas and all the their own negativity aspects to it. But if you focus on the positivities and you're hanging out with the good furries, then the outcome of the community will always be positive. Did I have some weird drama that I've heard from my fur community? Yes, I did. But do I care about it? No, because I wasn't part of it. I didn't know what went on. And to be honest, it's just not what I wanted to focus on. I enjoy the cuteness that the fur community brings. I enjoy the wholesomeness the fur community brings. And I personally enjoy the art and the creativity the fur community brings. That's why I joined it. El Burrito. El Bro. Burrito. Oh my god. I'm just gonna call you El. Okay. El. Okay. Yeah, it's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle choice, and a lot of it is positive.
In a heated flame war in 1998, said he would put his fucking head through a wall if he ever met Zydex at a convention. Zydex was another well-known furry of the time. Here's where the drama takes another strange twist. The founder of Burned Furs, Eric Bloomridge, started to get a lot of hate from his own community. Burned Fur and then gubernatorial candidate of Arizona.
You know what? If World War III happens, guess whose fault it is? Humanity's. And there's nothing that you nor I can do about it to stop it. So worrying about something that we can't do to stop it is kind of stupid in the first place. Whatever happens, happens. Unfortunately, that's how life works. Some things we can prevent, but those things that we can prevent are things that we have control of in our own personal lives or around us. So maybe don't worry about stuff that we can't prevent and control ourselves in our own little world. Maybe help ease your mind a bit.
Scott Malcolmson noted that Bloomridge hates apparently for the sheer pleasure of hating, and noted that Bloomridge's extremist attitude was one reason that Burned Furs had started to leave.
I may end up doing the Anthrocon. There's a FurCon in April next year, so I'm planning on attending that one. It's in Georgia, so. Yeah, what's going on recently with the whole Trump and the whole political system? Yeah, they're not gonna succeed, sadly. That's like trying to basically like delete guns and outlaw guns. Good luck with that. That's never gonna go away. Also, the LGBTQ community is gigantic, and so is the fur community. So, gay and yummy.
The group. Conference became a battleground for the Burned Furs. Now, Conference was the site of the first furry convention in 1989, and at the time really was essentially the only furry convention. By this time frame, it had started to have consistent adult activity in it, which the Burned Furs were very unhappy about. So initially they proposed simply boycotting it, and then attempted to start their own convention. Neither attempt really amounted to much of anything, but conference in 2003 ceased.
Mike Miller says it does not matter if you are gay or not. That's how God makes you. Correct. And in the end, whether you're gay or not, in the end, what matters is what you do with your life. So,
Running as a yearly convention, but of course, as we know, now there's hundreds of conventions worldwide in its place. As for Eric Bloomrich, he became increasingly more angry and more
because I am American and Ukrainian, and I don't speak Ukrainian because I don't know enough Ukrainian, even though I was born in Ukraine. I was adopted when I was 6 years old, so I only spoke Ukrainian for like 8 years of my life. I'm relearning it super slowly, but I am full-blooded Ukrainian, and then I'm American because I was adopted in 1999. So
aggressive, now facing shunning not just in mainstream furry fandom, but in the burned fur community that he had
thank you, Amelia. Appreciate it. Custom made.
essentially created. The last recorded interaction has Eric Bloomrich cussing out Zydex, the furry mentioned earlier, and ceasing all involvement in
I do speak American. I'm speaking American language right now. I just don't speak Ukrainian that much.
the fandom.
Now I can read and write full Russian and Ukrainian because I know this for the alphabet fully. So
These comments from some other veteran furries from 2013 indicate that they had a knowledge at that time of his whereabouts, and seems like at times he was a likable person, to them anyway. As far as I know, Eric Bloomrich remains absent from both the furry and anti-furry community, and ironically, the Burned Furs website that he helped to launch, after being shut down, the domain was purchased by a pornography company. The time frame for the ultimate demise of the...
wait, what chocolate? I can speak Mexican, Canadian, English, and Australian, but not American. You get English and American are the same thing, right? I'm pretty sure they're the exact same thing.
The Burned Furs and Eric Bloomrich leaving the fandom is roughly 2001, but on the way out, they helped to create something different. The Anti-Fur Collective, or Anti-Fur International, created on October 2000. It was labeled by its creators an outsider's psychological study of the furry fandom by anthropomorphic fans. Collective public discussions about the group quickly led to the conclusion, freely admitted by the creators, that the Anti-Fur Collectives, being a group of people that came together for the sole purpose of screwing with the minds of people who call themselves furry, was accurate. This involved false data and information, and the same general mocking and electronic hazing.
Guess this is why this is why it doesn't exist anymore, huh?
Used on past and current anti-furry groups or movements. Some of the collective's most serious members...
Yawns in the dumpster. Clear sight. If you don't know David, he likes living in the dumpster. He made himself a home there. Okay. Be nice to David, clear sight.
were in talks amongst
Do I know French? I do not. No, I do not know French.
themselves to play in some way to return the furry culture back to the golden age of furry fandom, or at least steer its true ideals to be associated solely with the anthro and anthropomorphic label, while the rest of them continued electronic guerrilla warfare harassment against the fandom.
I can speak over 900 languages if I use Google Translate.
With such projects as the fake Christian anti-furry site, Christian Parents Against Furries. The Anti-Furry Collective ceased functioning in January of 2001, but not the mindset behind it. Eric Bloomrich and his contemporaries have provided a watershed moment in the fandom. Instead of wanting to restore decorum or the golden age in the fandom in a loving, controlled way, we are now in an era of anti-furries who, although they still like the fandom and benefit...
Claude, welcome to the stream. I've been to every country, including the moon, besides Mars. What? The moon is not a country, man. The moon is not a country.
From parts of it, want to be openly combative, antagonistic, and disruptive. This gave rise to the creation of the critic message boards and websites. These were ran by furries to troll other furries. A notable frontrunner in this space was Eat All Furries. It had started in the year 2002 as the
Eat all furries! Dudes look like... Oh, no, they got tail. They got tail.
EternalReign.net, and eventually morphed into the separate website Eat All Furries and a live journal page. And at the height of its popularity, it had two flagship characters or mascots, the Purple Monster and the Singing Circus Dog. That second mascot being a reference to one of the site's founders. But by 2004, the entire thing had devolved into drama and chaos. Users were greeted on September 11th, 2004 by an animated image of a crying wolf flying into the World Trade Center.
So, what you can do is join online fur communities, and I promise you won't be made fun of that way. Start off slowly that way, and eventually evolve to be more okay with yourself being a furry in online, and then move yourself out to be more in public. So it's like, and this is actually why community exists in the first place. I mentioned in the very beginning of my live stream as the reason why any community exists is so you guys can feel more inclusive and be more positive about who you are and express yourselves without being attacked. That's why communities exist. And that's a good thing, because like I told my sister like years ago, two things: I was gay and I'm furry. And she made a huge like, she was like, "Oh, you're a furry?" And I was like, "Oh, well, I'm never going to tell you anything else about me and my first owner life." And I don't, because of how she made the gesture, and I guess she was in a negative way, and so I don't share anything with her about it. So joining those type of communities helps you feel more comfortable about yourself, and it makes you feel more like you're not going to be attacked by anyone.
And that was the end of the Eat All Furries website. In 2006, there was an attempt...
You're welcome, Amelia. Amanda, sorry. Amelia
made to revive it. 2005 saw the return of the Burned Furs when Reverend Ash Maurice Cairo launched the group in November of that year. It wasn't long before the name was changed to Improved Anthropomorphics, but they adopted...
And guess what? If they're not furries themselves, that's like them saying gays are weird or LGBTQ community is weird, because they're not in that community. So
adopted many of the principles from the Burned Furs movement, including trying to purge the fandom of subgroups such as Nazi furs or baby furs, and remove any kind of negative media attention, and try and purge the sexual element out of the fandom. Summer of 2008.
I don't think we need to purge the sexual element out of the fandom. I think we need to make sure that element in the fandom is in the right part of it. I don't think that you should include certain groups, age groups in that fandom, and they need to be specifically 18 plus. And I know for a fact a lot of furry most of the furry events or furcons have a time at night where they dedicate and they say you have to have your AD to prove that you're 18 plus to be downstairs and actually do these furcon events, because they're adult only, and they lock the event specifically for legal reasons, because a lot of these events at night at like 8 to 2 p.m., 2 a.m. in the morning, only people 18 plus can do those events. And so they do that so they don't get sued, and they make sure that everything is going according to code. And even a lot of the fur raves are 18 plus only, because again, there's some minor indecent exposure, like this tops. But other than that, there's no actual like full on off-clothed nudity. Because if I ever go to a furcon event and I see a full off-clothed nudity, I will talk about it and I will personally attack that one event for allowing that, because no community event should allow just blatant exposure unless it's a nudist club. In that case, go to the nudist club. Don't do that in fur communities. Okay, I don't support that. Happy Pride Month. Yes, I'm gay. That's great to know. I love humans. I never met one in real life. I bet, but humans are so cute. Oh gosh, you with your punchlines.
Doo-doo.
Welcome to the stream, Wild Snyart. Welcome.
Waning interest and involvement, things were starting to fall apart, and it was.
Oh, did I miss you? Did I not say welcome to the stream, Wild Snyart, earlier? I'm so sorry. I missed you around 9:00 p.m. So like 3 minutes late on that one. Apologize.
Officially shut down by April 2009. Other anti-furry websites and associations from this time period include furfags.com, launched in 2006, and the Furluminati, which ultimately became known as LOL Furries in 2000.
What, Furluminati? There's a Furluminati? I want to know about the Furluminati. I'm just curious about some of these communities. How did they get their name?
6 as well. An offshoot group known as Emergency was dedicated to raiding and trolling other furries for their own amusement.
There's gonna be bad words, unfortunately. This is not a PG content live stream. I apologize for that. Anyone that's not 13 plus.
Overlapping this time period from 2004 to 2009, we have God Hates Furries. Well, there seems to be less information on this site, so it was likely lesser well known. It's unique in that there's no clear ties to furry fandom, so it is in all possibility an anti-furry site that's truly persons who don't like the fandom and are not part of it. However, some of the over-the-top posts and comments...
Oh, I appreciate it, Walston. Thank you.
...commentary led some to believe that it was meant to be satire. A quote from the site's founder read as follows: "Furryism is like an onion. Consider an onion. It has layers upon layers of skin that can be peeled away. Furryism is like that, but instead of layers of onion skins, furryism has layers upon layers of what is scientifically known as horrible, disgusting shit. And like an onion, as you peel away more and more layers of horrible, disgusting shit, you start weeping uncontrollably." The sector with...
It's so random. God, the things that the community thinks. Oh my god. Am I 14? No, I'm not 14. I'm a full-fledged adult. I do act like a teen, though. I do. Oh god, some of the stuff is like just funny, man. I know they're trying to be serious, but to think that they go into religious semantics and all that with regard to furries. Ooh.
Was initially founded to be a furry...
I am 31. I'll be 32 in... what? 4 days from now. 4 days.
And
I didn't read all of it. Hold up. Are you 14 because you're the one for me? Oh my god. I just got it. I'm so slow on that one. I'm so slow. Wow. What a nice punchline in that one, Amelia. What a nice punchline. Thank you.
web forum and give a platform for furries and anti-furries alike.
I know, Amelia, you're joking.
To discuss the biases of their individual subcultures. The vivisector demanded maturity from its participants and members, and failure to adhere to those policies would result in being blocked. The site ran from 2007 to 2000.
Okay, just go to a different website then. Problem solved? I don't know.
2017 until it inexplicably just ceased to exist, with no reason given. Initially, an admin said the site would be returning, but when that didn't happen, an attempt was made to reestablish it, hosted on Kiwi Farms. Watch Your Step ran briefly from 2000.
Thank you, Wild. Appreciate it.
2009 to 2010, and it maintained a hall of shame, or those that it sought to ban from furry. These were individuals who seemed to have been labeled as sources of drama or contention at the time, Some of them are still well-known figures in the fandom to this day, such as Lupine Assassin or Sniff Henkel. Whatever their intention, using rumors as a primary source of information simply heightened drama and contention in the fandom instead of helping to address any problems. This is similar to the various person-exposed videos that you tend to see on YouTube that lack any kind of concrete proof or source. Rumors, speculation, altered chats, or Kiwi Farms as a source. The Army of Humanity was a short-lived anti-furry group. It appears like it lasted about 3 months, and the initial intent was...
See, I feel like a lot of these anti-furry community groups are super short-lived. I looked on Reddit. So just to give you guys an example of Reddit. Let me pull up Reddit. Reddit. And I was looking at some of these anti-furry community groups. Anti-Furries Forever, for example, is like... The most recent one was like a year ago. Oh, wait. New. Yeah, a year ago. That's the newest one. And that was created in 2023. I'm about to say 2003. It's 2023. If we go to this one, Anti-Furries right here. This was the newest. This was uploaded 24 days ago, a month ago. So a lot of these are like dead. Like they have a lot of members, but they're not active. And then for Anti-Furries United, this is another one. And if you find others, let me know. Again, this was done 2 years ago. So a lot of these are short-lived communities. So, yeah. And this is really messed up, but that's basically the gist. A lot of these hate communities, and this goes in general. Keep in mind, a lot of these hate communities do not last long. How long has fur community lasted versus like the anti-fur community? Far longer than the anti-community. Far, far longer. And we're bigger too, so we can attack the anti-fur community, which I support. Attack the anti-fur community. Haven't gotten a bad luck on 13. I have not had bad luck on 13. I am actually really happy today. Really, really happy.
Gather artwork that was anti-furry themed in nature onto DeviantArt.
You're an American, but Reddit is banned. How is Reddit banned for you?
A art sharing website. I'm not sure what the nature of the art was, as they were ultimately banned from DeviantArt. Members.
I should start saying everything I can think in my mind. For forgotten youth, weep for your forgotten youth. Man, I'm not looking to like get into my 70s or 80s. Like, what the fuck am I gonna do with my life when I turn 70 or 80? I'm not looking for that. If I ever make it that long, I'll let you guys know.
With usernames such as fur.
Yeah, so I currently put my Discord invite link on pause because I've got to resolve some issues. I have not had like, yeah, I'll go and give you guys my Discord link right now. This is a TikTok thing I'm doing later on, but it's gonna be temporary because I'm currently resolving some issues with things on Discord. And so I'm just doing temporary links. But here you go. Yeah, here you go. Pluto, welcome to the stream. Pluto, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Furry hunter and furry griefer had the motto, "Fire burns everything and kill all non-humans." After being banned from DeviantArt, an attempt was made for a return with the motto, "We don't die, we multiply."
Oh, thank you for subscribing, Wild. That's so nice.
Ultimately, this attempt was unsuccessful as well. To date, I'm not sure if there's any incarnations of the Army of Humanity floating around somewhere. Finally, we have the Anti-Furry Coalition, which originally ran from 2007 to 2012 and was self-labeled as a hoax website.
Yeah, so I created this little subscribe thing, so anyone that subscribes, unless you have because you have to have your subscription things on YouTube to get this, but it pops up once in a while, which is cute. And I did that custom voice myself.
It had an intended goal to be a resource center for people who would like to learn more about furries. It had a section of the site that offered downloadable and printable material.
Yay! See, I did it again. I just love it. I just love it. So, I love it.
Including 5 steps for staying furry free and are furries corrupting your children. Now, as far as I can tell, in the pretty consistent ongoing tradition of anti-furry,
if you there's a setting on your YouTube. If you go here, so if you can find it. If you go to your YouTube and it's like somewhere hidden and you're like deep that no one knows about, because YouTube doesn't talk about this. Go to your settings or something like this. I think it's here, and I forget where. Channel status and features. I think, is it this? I forget where, but you can enable to show your live subscribers to people that you subscribe to, so that they get the information. And then what happens is I get to see those people that subscribed in here. This is how I know all those subscribers, because these are all lives. And I'm one weird bird. What's an ugly logo? What's an ugly logo? And so I get to see all the people that subscribe to me through this. I think it says right here. Hold up. Yeah. Only includes users who have made subscription publicly. So it's right here. And it's you can view subscriber count, sign in, dashboard recent. So there's a way that they can make their subscriptions public to you. So there you go. Oh my god. I mean, I'm not against that. I think that's cool. But that can get very complicated relationship-wise. Oh, thank you so much, Chocolate. I appreciate it. Oh. So, my boyfriend is definitely a twink. And I could see him being a femboy. I'm into twink femboys / muscle ones. Not crazy big buff ones, but decent muscles. I just don't like bulging biceps, because those are no.
Up until this point, these were in fact furries who wanted to troll other furries.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it, Amelia.
2013, a furry activist named Kaylee Stewart posted a petition on the site Care2 to try and gather petitions to shut down the Anti-Furry Coalition. She had a stated goal to gather 1 million signatures. She stated, "Dear furry persecutors, this mainly targets the Anti-Furry Coalition but goes out to all those who unjustly discriminate against furries. We have gained 1 million signatures on a petition and hereby ask you to please shut down your
Oh, you guys can split the relationship that way. That's cool. That would work out.
Organization against furries. We have harmed no one and we would like to be treated fairly. That means no more anti-furry signs."
What? So random. If you could, would you save millions of children's lives for free in Agnolia? I mean, I'm all for saving lives. Sure. I would accept that. Could I do it? No. I just don't have the money or the power to do that, so.
Or escape the furry mazes for children, etc. Now, in actuality, the petition had only gathered 69 signatures. I don't know if Kaylee was counter-trolling, or if she really believed that this organization was really persecuting furries. Either way, this was consistent with the ongoing...
We start singing that song. There's a starman waiting in the sky. There's a song about that, I'm pretty sure.
Trolling and satire. Present-day anti-furs have a lot in common with their predecessors, not just in technique, but sharing similar motives. And for those who really seem to think they're fighting against something, it's just as pointless and futile now as it was 20-odd years ago. The fact of the matter is that people, whether you agree with them or not, are going to do what they enjoy, and you're not really going to be able to dissuade them from it.
I've never been told that, actually. In 4th grade, I used to sing, and I was like, I was like the primary singer for my choir in 4th grade music, and so I just never been told that.
Of course, as there is no harm done. For those whose motives were or continue to be
See, I don't like my voice personally, but then again, I don't know how it sounds to others because I judge my singing very harsh.
to purge the fandom of truly harmful elements,
Scene
that is
CPR
an
with
admirable
cupcake.
and worthwhile goal. However, there's definitely better ways of going about it. If I'm going to be a part of something, I like to learn as much as I can about it. So after having dug through all this, I have to wonder how many modern anti-furries are ever going to be aware of or bother to try and find out about this history of a community that they choose to identify with. If you made
Yeah, so I will say that majority of um furries, anti-furries, or majority of these groups that are anti-whatever, anti-LGBTQ, anti-Christian, anti-religion, what you want to call them, barely do their research in that community. They're just in that community just to cause disruption. Um, Wait, hold up. Can I do my full face image? No, that's my dog bed. Yeah, 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 yeah. And make my face big. Make my face big. Yeah, 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 yeah. Is that better? Is that better? Okay. um, Sebastians, welcome to the stream. Um, so yeah, a lot of these communities and these anti-communities don't bother doing the research on the history of why they were getting involved in the first place. A lot of them are just to get their own track of attention to themselves, or join a group that they think they're doing it for a right cause, and then they later find out it's a really fucked up group, or they're just dicks and just like to attack people because they can. They're bullies, basically. And I think that's wrong. I don't support that. But you do you. And most of those communities are so small that there's most of the times can be ignored. So defying gravity in the cat fights from Wicked. Oh, nice, nice, nice. Yeah, it is just pure ignorance in the end. And I think the whole part about being a furry, again, as I said, or being in any community has its ups and also has negatives. But if you focus more on the positive side of the community, then more than not, it's going to turn out positive. If you focus on the negative side of the community and that's all you're focusing on, then that's what you're going to get. In the end, you gotta choose which side of the community you want to focus on, the positive or the negative. And there's far more positives in majority of the communities that you join than there are negatives. So try to stay positive and focus on your friends and your family that support you. So I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream, and I hope you found this a little bit informal, because I certainly did. I had a whole bunch of other content that I wanted to get into, but like talking about this their channel that does not exist, that they just barely upload. So I'm assuming they're dead or something. I think they're the ones that sent me this channel to look into. Someone sent me a link and I was like, ooh, interesting. But they're definitely attacking, even whether they mean to or not. So they're trolls. And then this channel is just dead. Like, this channel's been archived. No uploads are scheduled further, even though they did it 11 days ago. So, oh, thank you for subscribing. Thank you so much. Mikey for president. No, Sebastian. I never got offended. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? You should do a speech and run for president. You are so good at speaking. I have practiced speaking because I do a lot of live streams. A lot of live streams helps you with impromptu speaking, actually. Very, very helpful, actually. Thank you, Raw. I appreciate it. Thank you. And then this channel again, it's like they all have 10K plus subscribers and they're just like dead. And this one only lasted for 2 years. No, a year. They only lasted for a year. The same thing with this channel. They lasted for only 2 years. And they got 30 subs. Why did they quit? I don't know. Same with this channel. Like, this channel only lasted for 3 years. So, while the anti-fur community is a issue, it's something that majority of us can ignore and ignore the drama. Unless the fur community actually sees it, like, the events in their face, majority of us are just gonna like, well, I'm sorry that happened to you, and move on from it. I'm not saying that there is some bad stuff in the fur community, but again, as I mentioned, go to any community, there's bad stuff. But if you don't see it, then move on and focus on the positivity. I hope you guys enjoy this live stream. Please hit the like, subscribe, and to everyone that has joined my live stream and supported me, thank you so much. Love you, fans. Bye, all.